Okay, so you want to own a mine. You want to buy a plot of land, dig a massive hole in the earth, pull out gold, copper, or lithium, and watch the cash roll in every time global commodity prices tick upward. You envision yourself as a modern-day titan of industry, sitting on top of an underground vault of unimaginable, tangible wealth. It looks like the ultimate primary industry. It looks like the most fundamental way to print money, taking raw value directly from the crust of the planet. It is not. The modern mining industry is a financial and logistical meat grinder. It is a business where you will routinely spend $2 billion before you have extracted a single ounce of saleable product, where your entire operation can be shut down by a microscopic endangered frog, where you have to move 100,000 tons of worthless rock just to find a handful of profitable dirt, and where your entire multi-decade business plan is held hostage by a spot price completely controlled by algorithmic traders in London and New York. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly why owning a mine defies normal economic logic. You will learn how the actual mining of the metal is often the easiest part of the business. You will understand the brutal, inescapable math of the strip ratio, and you will realize why the people who actually make money in mining are rarely the ones swinging the pickaxes, but the ones financing the debt. Let us start at the very beginning. You cannot just find a shiny rock, hire an excavator, and start digging. The life cycle of a mine starts with exploration, which is essentially a highly scientific multi-million-dollar casino. You hire a fleet of geologists. They run aeromagnetic surveys. They take soil samples. They drill core holes hundreds of meters into the bedrock. You might drill 500 holes and spend $50 million of venture capital just to realize the ore body is too deep, or the grade is too low, or the rock is too fractured to safely hold a tunnel. Statistically, roughly 1 in 1,000 exploration targets ever actually becomes a functioning commercial mine. But let us say you hit the jackpot. You find a world-class copper or gold deposit. You own the mineral rights. You are ready to build. No, you are not. You have just entered the permitting phase, which is a bureaucratic purgatory that makes building a nightclub or a skyscraper look like a weekend hobby. You are proposing to permanently alter the geography of the Earth. You will need to draw millions of gallons of water from the local water table, and you will need somewhere to put millions of tons of toxic, chemically treated crushed rock, known as tailings. Because of this, the environmental impact statement alone will take between 5 and 10 years to complete. You will need permits for air quality, water discharge, wildlife displacement, and explosive storage. You will need to negotiate legally binding impact and benefit agreements with local indigenous populations or communities. You will have to prove exactly how you plan to manage the highly acidic runoff that is created when sulfide rocks are exposed to rainwater. During this entire 5 to 10 year period, you are employing an army of environmental lawyers, specialized consultants, and public relations firms. You are burning through hundreds of millions of dollars of your investors' money, and your revenue is exactly zero. In many jurisdictions, after 7 years of studies and community battles, the federal or state government can simply deny your permit based on political pressure, and your entire investment goes to absolute zero overnight. But let us assume you get the permits. Now you have to actually build the mine. This is where the capital expenditure reaches numbers that are difficult for the human brain to comprehend. You are not just digging a hole. You are building a small, heavily industrialized city in what is usually one of the most remote, inhospitable places on the planet. If you are building an open-pit mine in the Andes Mountains, or the Australian outback, or the Canadian tundra, there are no roads. There is no power grid. There is no housing. You have to build it all. You lay miles of high-voltage transmission lines or build your own dedicated natural gas power plant just to run the equipment. You build a massive processing mill consisting of primary crushers the size of apartment buildings, grinding circuits, and chemical leaching pads. You build an entire town with dormitories, cafeterias, and airstrips to fly your workers in and out on 2-week rotations. And then there is the fleet. A modern ultra-class haul truck, the kind with tires that are 12 feet tall, costs about $5 million. You need 30 of them. You need electric rope shovels that cost $30 million each. By the time you have blasted your first bench of rock and run your first ton of ore through the processing mill, you have spent anywhere from $1 billion to $5 billion. And this is all built on debt. You have borrowed from major syndicates of global banks, or you have sold massive chunks of your future production to royalty and streaming companies at a heavy discount just to get the cash to pour the concrete. The interest on that debt is compounding every single day. If your mill construction is delayed by 6 months because a vital piece of custom steel is stuck in a port in China, the interest payments alone can bankrupt you before you pour your first bar of gold or ship your first ton of copper concentrate. Now the mine is finally built. You turn the machines on. This is where you face the brutal physical reality of the Earth itself. The fundamental math of any mine is dictated by two things: the grade and the strip ratio. Let us talk about gold, because it illustrates the madness perfectly. A high-grade open-pit gold mine might have a grade of 2 grams per ton. Think about what that actually means. You have to blast, load, haul, crush, grind, and chemically treat one entire metric ton of solid rock just to extract an amount of gold that is roughly the weight of a paperclip. But it is worse than that because of the strip ratio. The gold is not just sitting on the surface. It is buried under hundreds of feet of completely worthless dirt and rock, which the industry calls waste. If your strip ratio is 5 to 1, that means to get to that 1 ton of gold-bearing ore, you first have to drill, blast, and move 5 tons of waste rock. So now you are handling 6 metric tons of solid earth just to get your paperclip of gold. You are doing this 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Your haul trucks are burning thousands of gallons of diesel fuel every hour. You are chewing through massive steel grinding balls in your mill like they are candy. Your explosive costs, your labor costs, your heavy equipment tire costs, your energy costs are astronomical. The industry measures all of this using a metric called all-in sustaining cost. If the all-in sustaining cost of your gold mine is $1,200 an ounce, that means every single ounce you produce costs you exactly that much in labor, fuel, maintenance, administration, and debt service. If the global spot price of gold is $2,000, you are making a massive $800 margin per ounce, and the mine is a cash printing machine. You are a genius. But here is the catch. You do not control the price of your product. You are what economists call a price taker. You are extracting a globally traded, highly commoditized metal. Whether you are mining copper, zinc, lithium, or gold, the price is dictated by macroeconomic forces completely outside of your control. Interest rates set by the Federal Reserve, manufacturing data coming out of China, global geopolitical conflicts, and supply chain disruptions dictate your bottom line. You could have the most efficiently run, technologically advanced copper mine on the planet. But if a global recession hits and the demand for copper wiring collapses, the spot price of copper will plummet. Suddenly, your all-in sustaining cost is higher than the price you get paid for the metal. You are now bleeding cash on every single ton of rock you move, but you cannot just turn the mine off and wait for prices to recover. A mine is a massive living organism. If you stop pumping water out of the underground shafts or the open pit, it will flood and destroy tens of millions of dollars of electrical equipment. If you lay off your highly specialized workforce, they will immediately get jobs at other mines, and you will never get them back when you need them. If you stop running the processing mill, the chemical processes stall, the pipes freeze or corrode, and the massive debt payments from your $3 billion build-out still come due on the first of the month. So when prices crash, you are forced into a terrible, desperate strategy called high grading. You change your mine plan to only dig up the absolute richest, most highly concentrated ore in the entire pit just to survive the low prices and keep the lights on. It keeps you alive in the short term, but you are effectively cannibalizing the future of your own mine. By taking all the best rock now, you are leaving behind millions of tons of lower-grade ore that will be completely uneconomical to mine later, drastically shortening the total lifespan of the asset you just spent 10 years and $3 billion building. And what happens when the ore finally runs out? Because all mines eventually run out. You have dug a hole that is 2 miles wide and half a mile deep. You have a tailings dam holding back 50 million cubic meters of toxic, heavy metal-laced rock slurry. You cannot just lock the chain link gate, file for bankruptcy, and walk away. You have reached the reclamation phase. Decades before the mine closed, before you even poured the first foundation, the government legally forced you to put hundreds of millions of dollars into a specialized bond or trust specifically for this moment. You have to reshape the massive waste rock dumps to prevent landslides and erosion. You have to cap the tailings storage facility with engineered impermeable layers of clay, synthetic liners, and topsoil to ensure rain never touches the toxic material underneath. You have to tear down the billion-dollar processing mill, decontaminate the steel, and sell it for scrap. You have to replant native vegetation across thousands of acres of disturbed land. But the most terrifying, unquantifiable liability is the water. When you expose deep underground rock to oxygen and water for the first time in millions of years, it creates a chemical reaction known as acid mine drainage. This highly acidic water will naturally leach heavy metals like arsenic, lead, and cadmium out of the surrounding rock and carry it into the local watershed, rivers, and groundwater if left unchecked. At many modern megamines, the company is legally obligated to operate a high-tech, industrial-scale water treatment plant on the site in perpetuity, forever. Long after the haul trucks are gone, long after the mill is dismantled, long after the original corporation has merged or disappeared, someone is paying millions of dollars a year to pump and treat toxic water for a mine that stopped producing a single cent of revenue 50 years ago. Your liability outlives the economic utility of the asset by centuries. This is the reality sitting at the bottom of the open pit. You are buying into a business that requires the upfront capital of a small nation, operates under the regulatory scrutiny of a nuclear facility, and carries the environmental liability of a toxic waste dump. The margin on a good day is incredible, generating generational wealth in a matter of months. But the math is entirely unforgiving, constantly eaten alive by volatile diesel costs, brutal strip ratios, catastrophic equipment failures, and the ruthless, unpredictable swings of global commodities markets. The geologists find the dream. The heavy machinery moves the earth. The global markets dictate your survival. And the liability lasts long after the last truck leaves the site. If you found this video valuable, leave a like, subscribe, and comment below which business you want me to cover next.